All right, so we've got some controversy with VRChat and Vtubers going on Twitch, some confusion, some bans happening, and then rolling back some updates regarding guidelines. Don't know really what's going on here, but let's get into it here. So Twitch has left VTubers scratching their digital heads after the streaming platform announced a rollback on VRChat policies. Following the recent news of Twitch banning VRChat streamers for inappropriate attire, the streaming platform has repealed its policy. All right, let's go back a step. So this was published on June 7th. This tweet went out. Hey, DJ Clancy, can you please shed some light on something? I and several other VRChat streamers were hit with a one-day suspension in the last 24 hours. The reason given, inappropriate attire, was given. If this is true, has Twitch reversed their statement regarding VRChat avatar guidelines that is shown below? Is VRChat no longer considered a game, but an augmented reality platform where outfits worn by characters in VRChat have to abide by the nudity and attire guidelines, followed by IRL VTubers? How do the new rules about AR avatars impact my content if I stream a virtual reality sandbox game like VRChat? So this screenshot is from Twitch safety guidelines, and it says our policy on augmented reality avatars applies to content where cameras and software are used to capture a person's physical likeness and translate it into a digital overlay. VRChat is categorized as a game on Twitch, and in-game virtual reality models are not subject to our policy on nudity and attire. This content must still comply with our policy on nudity and sexual content. However, so you may not modify your game to include nudity or make sexual elements a primary focus of your broadcast. Twitch has clarified the VTuber nudity guidelines and revealed that VRChat players are now subject to the same attire guidelines as regular streamers. So this tweet came out from Twitch support. We're in the process of sending communications to VTubers and specifically VRChat streamers, but the purpose of responding to this question, yes, this old blog from 2020 is no longer correct. We recognize that this may not have been completely clear given the prior blog you highlighted and apologize for this. We will update this. These streamers' warnings, including yours, have now been removed. VRChat streamers will now need to follow the same attire guidelines as normal streams. Now, to me, what makes sense here is if you are in control of your model and you make your model to break Twitch's attire policy, I feel like you are responsible for that. Now, if other people are you can't control what everyone's wearing. And if other people are wearing things that are more provocative, that's probably not on you. Like I would say that's not on you. It says that to me, that makes sense that it's like regarding the game. It's part of the game, right? Then Twitch support tweeted out not very long after this, like 2 days later, we made a change to our enforcement guidelines recently regarding the application of our attire policy to VRChat streams. We've received a lot of feedback from the VRChat community about the confusion this has caused, especially since it was not accompanied by a change to our published policy guidelines, which is like confusing. Why did you make a change but didn't talk about the change, then communicate the change? Like what? Effective today, we're rolling back the change to the enforcement guidelines. Any strikes due to this change will be deprecated. That said, as stated in our policy, our attire policy guidelines still apply to VTubers, but it does not apply to characters in games such as VRChat. That is confusing because you make your character in VRChat. So you basically can say you could, this is like a loophole. This is not the right ruling in my opinion. If you are in control of your character and you design your character to break the rules, I mean, I don't understand why that would not be under the policy. Because now it seems like VTubers are in this weird middle grounds because they are a character that they designed. The difference is they're just not within a video game. They're outside the video game. I mean, but if you're making the character, you can upload whatever you want to VRChat. You can literally be any model you want. If it's on you, why would that not apply? Telling everyone you don't know what a VTuber is without actually saying it, speedrun any percent. I'll stream in the hot tub category from now on every time I'm in 3D. If you don't mind, I'm not as naked as most streamers there. 3D models on VRChat that are practically naked and get waved around on camera for hours so people can jerk off, but VTubers can't even show a little bit of underboob. It is incredibly unfair. Either allow both parties or don't let either at all. I mean, I think the rules for a human... The most straightforward thing, I think, is whatever the rules are for a human on camera should apply to a virtual human on camera, which means if you are designing a virtual character within a game, I feel like those rules should apply. Like, this is putting VTubers in like a weird, confusing spot. It's like a loophole for VR chatters. To me, this is not the right ruling. Can we please have more information on why VTubers are different? Because honestly, a lot more can happen with VRChat models than VTuber ones. Myself and many others in the VTuber community are confused and honestly feel like we're being pushed into a corner. Does this apply to VTubers who are streaming in VRChat? Yeah, like this is just very confusing. So 3D VTuber models have different rules to VRChat avatars when a 3D model could be imported to VRChat. If I have underboob showing in my 3D VTuber model in my VTuber software, it's a ban. If I port that exact model to VRChat, no ban. Is it the... Very confusing. Look, Twitch, just bring a couple of VTubers, VRChatters, like just talk to a couple folks before you do stuff. I don't know, like you have a community of people that will talk to you. Like why are we making weird rules? They're acknowledging that the creator does not have control over the other people in the game and you won't be banned from their models. You would still be banned for your own model. I mean, this would make sense, but that's not what this says. This says that the entire policy applies to VTubers but does not apply to VRChat. This is what it should be, is if you make a model that's breaking, if you design a character that is breaking Twitch TOS in a game, that should, it's pretty, I don't know, it seems like a clear-cut rule. Weird. So, I mean, this is still developing. This happened over the weekend. I don't know. They tried to do something and then we're like, psych. At least it's not clear what that they mean. It's not clear at all. They don't even like state the policy. It's just vague, very vague. Yeah, weird place right now. I'm sure it will be clarified. It just does not make sense to not have that rule across the board. It's very straightforward when you make it that way. I don't think there's any reason to like argue that VTubers should have less rules. Like, I think just make the rules the same. Virtual or real person, make it the same, make it straightforward. That way there's not any, you know, like gray area with that. I don't know. If you're a VTuber, let me know what you think. Are you like, where do you think the rules should be for VTubers versus VRChat? Because to me, they should be the same. So let me know what you think.